Closer and closer to that homecoming. You might have gathered if you just recently joined us, Jessica Watson is a little bit behind schedule in coming back into Sydney Harbour. Just a quick word to viewers of 10 and 1. We will be staying with this all the way through to the civic reception and indeed the news conference. We will, if you're a footy fan, that's AFL, switch to the AFL at 2 o'clock on 10. That is the Swans Bulldogs game in Canberra, but you can watch this all the way on 1HD. So just switch to Channel 1 if you're going with us on 10, and we do cross to the football. You can stay with us. More on the ETA from Hugh Rimmington, who's on the harbour in the VIP boat.
Hello there again, Bill, and we're getting more information. She's really cranked out all the sail at the moment. She's not holding anything back as she comes in towards the finish line. She's now 2.7 nautical miles from where we are. We're pretty much dead on the finish line here at the moment, and that will convert to around about half an hour or so. She has one more tack to put in at the moment, as she can't just simply ride in on a single tack. She'll have to put in another move. That's what she's going to do. But if you look around, there's a reasonably steady breeze out here. A lot of the spectator fleet, even those who've gone out to greet her, gone out beyond the heads to greet her, have shortened sail. She has not. She's got every stitch up. She wants to come home, I think. And those people have been watching the helicopter shots in particular, watching Jessica standing in the cockpit. They can see the wooden tiller and think, well, hang on a minute, who's sailing this thing? Who's pointing it in the right direction? Of course, this is how you must do a solo long-distance sail, whether it's a circumnavigation or anything. You can't stand at the tiller, sit at the tiller 24 hours a day. The device is a wind vane, and it is that has really been steering her home and keeping her heading in the right direction all the way over. And the man who actually stuck it on the boat for us, Phil George, with me now, would explain for us how critical, if you're going to go long distance, is this piece of gear.
Well, it's extremely critical to have a means of steering the boat other than yourself. I mean, you could probably do it for 10 hours, but then you start to get a bit tired. So you need something to steer the boat while you have a rest or do other necessary things.
So this has essentially been the invisible other crew member?
Absolutely. She's named him Parker. A lot of people do give them names, and she's called it Parker. So.
Now, you took an interest in this because you were sailing from Cornwall out to Australia, and you were crossing the Atlantic, and you found yourself having to steer it all yourself with two other members of your boat, and thought there's got to be a better way to do this.
Yeah, I was aware of self-steering, and I flew back to Australia and decided I need one of these, and I went to see the original designer, Kevin Fleming, and at the time he was considering retirement, and I turned up. Engineer and sailor and salesman, and he said, "You're just the man, why don't you buy the business?" So
well, you were one of those people who got on board with this dream early on when the family was gathering a team that were going to make this work. What made you think this was a goer?
I got an email from Don, said, would I be interested in sponsoring a 16-year-old girl around the world? And I thought, wow, not sure. So I decided to go up to Maluli Bar and meet them, and met some of the team and Bruce and Mum and Dad, and got to know the family quite well. And I thought, it's exceptional. That was no doubt about that. And yes, I think she.
And today, as she's steaming home, where does she come sailing? It must be as much as.
Well, there you go, an example of how water and technology don't always mix too well. I think it even more emphasises how Jessica has managed to get this thing around the globe. We lost Hugh Rimmington and Bill George there briefly. We'll get back to Hugh on the VIP boat as soon as we can. Now, Bill did mention Don. He was referring to Don McIntyre, who you might see his name on that SNS 34. He helped kit this thing out. He's a heavy sponsor of Jessica. And, of course, Don McIntyre, if you don't know him, I'd be surprised. He's one of Australia's greatest adventurers. He's been all over the planet, sailed around the world himself. He's been to Antarctica. And interesting thing about Don, he's not here today. The reason he's not here today is he is still adventuring. He's recreating what happened to William Bligh after he was kicked off the Bounty by the mutineers. Don rebuilt the boat and tried to recreate the exact conditions that Bligh would face, with a few little bits of technology that, of course, modern rules demand, and see what happened. And Don found out very quickly that William Bligh was a tremendous sailor and/or very lucky too, because Don's already had problems and had to pull into port. He's going to carry on, but that's why Don McIntyre has not been here today to celebrate with Jessica, but I'm sure he is in spirit and will catch up with her very soon. An extraordinary man, Don McIntyre, and one of the key men in this team. Let's go back to Kath.
Woodsy, if you do the maths, Jessica Watson's been out at sea for 210 days. That's at 3 meals a day, 630 meals. I'm here with Paul McVerry, and he's supplied her 1,500 meals for her voyage. She must be one hungry teenager.
I guess she's put on a bit of weight. I hope so.
Tell us a little bit about how you got involved with Jess.
Sure. Well, it's interesting. My wife was helping sand the boat at Nambour, actually. And she said to Jess, look, our business at Easy Foods makes these long life products that don't need refrigeration, so would you like to try a few? So we gave 2 or 3 to Jess, and she just loved them, and we ended up giving her 1,500 for the tour.
Phenomenal. So what sort of food was on the menu for Jess? Are we talking cordon bleu or very, very basic food?
Absolute cordon bleu by Easy Food standards, but lamb shanks, beef ribs, beef stroganoff, whole range of meals like that. Good protein meal with vegetables in, and she's obviously loved them. She keeps telling us how nice they are.
Well, you did give her 3 times the amount of what she really needed. Were there snacks there? Because she does have a bit of a sweet tooth. I know she's partial to a bit of Nutella.
Yeah, well, like some of the meals would have been like just 200 grams, so she'd maybe have a snack in the middle of the night, and then some larger meals like 450 grams. So there was meals and snack food there for her all the time.
On a serious note, we hear about the sailors of years gone by suffering from scurvy, etc. Was it important for you to actually look at the nutritional value to keep up her stamina and well-being while out on the high seas?
Absolutely. At Easy Foods, our nutritional people set a balanced group of meals for her that would sort of sustain her through that period. And so it was a mix of carbohydrates and proteins, but it would have provided a good nutritional balance for her. And she's obviously pretty happy.
Will you be doing the birthday cake for her on Tuesday?
Pretty hard to make a birthday cake that under our methods of manufacture. We're going to have a crack at it, though.
And just finally, Jessica has really helped you and your business to become an Australian success story as well.
Well, it's really interesting in terms of the emails and the requests we've received from all over the world for our meals, simply because of the fact they don't require refrigeration and they can last for 18 months. So we've been delighted, but you know, we really gave the meals to Jessica on the premise that if it was one of our daughters, that's what we'd want to do, and we gave her the meals. Delighted doing it, and Easy Foods, we're just thrilled.
Well, she looks great, so I'm sure she has been well fed over the past few days, and I'll have to keep you in mind when I go on my next camping trip.
You let us know.
There's been some terrific people involved in this journey, and it's important to point out that they're very intelligent people and very capable people themselves. They would not have got involved in this if they weren't impressed with Jessica. They just had too much to risk, and I'm sure they're very pleased now that faith has paid off in a big way. Now, we're going to have a long talk with Jessica after she docks in Sydney. We'll give her a bit of a rest, of course, as you might imagine, a chance to meet friends and family. And we'll be showing that interview in a 10 News special at 6 o'clock tomorrow night, an exclusive one-on-one with Jessica talking about her journey. And I trust we'll be gentle because, as you can imagine, she has a lot of commitments to deal with now that she's back on dry land. We'll take a break. We'll return to Sydney Harbour. I think she's about 20 to 30 minutes away, of course, depending on the conditions. There she is, all the way to the finish with her.